Hi everyone, my name is Shay Hodges, and I'm very happy to be able to present to you folks today. And first of all, thank you to Railsbridge, Hawaii for inviting me. I'm really happy to have this opportunity to tell you about my Apple iBook, Lean On and Lead, Mothering and Work in the 21st Century Economy, which is a collection of 26 stories about working parents, and it's in the Apple iBook interactive platform that's a little bit different from your regular book or ebook, because it's an iBook. And rather than going on and talking to you about it, I put together some clips that I think will help you understand. And have a great day, and I hope you enjoy it. Aloha. The book is called Lean On and Lead, Mothering and Work in the 21st Century Economy. And one of the points of the book has to do with how difficult it is in our society to work and make a living, to feed your family, and to raise your family. There's this conflict in terms of the time, and so people have to try and figure out ways to do that. And one of the ways that I was able to do it on Maui was as an independent grant writer, because I could make my own hours, I could work at night while my kids were sleeping, and I could make a relatively decent living. And that's what a lot of parents have a hard time figuring out. I have 26 interviews, and I have at least, I think, 4 that are men. One of them is Shan Tsutsui, our lieutenant governor.
I got that one right.
Another one is an old friend of mine, actually, who is actually living in China now, but he's Swedish. And I wanted to have somebody in Sweden because Sweden is always held up as the ideal. And he raised his kids 20 years ago, so it was a little bit different then. But just to have some context, part of what I have in my book also that I think is a little bit different is because I have all these different professions and people talk about what their lives are like, you actually learn a little bit about what it's like to work in healthcare versus what it's like to work in academia, and what it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I think a lot of times we don't know. Why would you know what it's like to be an audiologist and what the options are? And it's not meant to be like a college catalog, here, I want to be this, but it does give you some perspective on how family-friendly certain fields are versus others. And there's some data, and that's data about women in college and studying technology. And that's really, actually, this goes back to the economics question. And if you click on that widget there, so then you see more information and data. And if you want to turn some more pages.
I like this concept.
Yes. So part of why I did it like this, and I guess, is I did it because I think there's a lot of, when it comes to this issue, and like I said, it's economics, there's a lot of important data. And I like data. I'm a grant writer, and I'm kind of wonky, and it's interesting to me. But a lot of people don't like data. And so if you just write a book and you have all these graphs and say, women have been graduating from college at higher rates than men from the last 20 years, and the number of women who have, are getting computer science degrees is half of what it was 25 years ago, people start to kind of turn off. But if you tell stories, and you tell stories about, for example, I have a Maui woman, Emily Swadek, who's a teacher at King Kekalika High School, and she was a computer science major, and she now is a STEM teacher, and she tells her story about going to school and why she made the choices she did, and then now working with other young people to train them in STEM, and while having kids. Wow. And that, when you're reading that, that's what actually creates the connection. That's what makes you realize, oh, she's just like me, or wow, she made a different choice than I did, but she's still in the same boat, because a lot of times parents too, they beat themselves up and they say,
oh God, yes.
Why did I do this wrong? Oh, those people over there, they've got it all together, and I can't figure out how to balance all this. And so these are all kinds of different people telling their stories, which also lets you know too that there's so much diversity too in people's lives and families and the choices they make. I have a range of different women. I have a woman who, is a venture capitalist, and she had nannies. I have another woman who has struggled. She has, I want to say, 7 children, and she has taken 18 years to get her bachelor's degree because of all the struggles that she had in having children. And, when I interviewed her, she was like 2 months away, and it was pretty exciting. But what I found is among all women, whether they, are out in the workforce and very successful, whether they are struggling more and they're trying to get to that place, we all are in the situation where we feel like the system is not really set up so that we can do things the way we want to do them, so that we can give everything that we want to our kids, so that we can pursue whatever professional, trajectory that we want to pursue, or creative, trajectory. Technology is definitely a male profession these days, and I think maybe if more women were in technology, the kinds of things that we create with technology might be different. And that's part of it also, in a general sense, is we have a society right now that is very white male dominated. And that doesn't mean that, if you have other people, it will necessarily be better because the other people are better. But if you have a diversity of experiences and a diversity of ideas, we will definitely not be in the status quo anymore. At least it'll change, it'll shift, and we'll have different kinds of perspectives and experiences informing how we make decisions and what we do.